It's time to step up your game.
Let's get ready to rumble!
You're listening to a special presentation of Game On, coming to you from the Calgary and Comic Entertainment Expo. We've got interviews, we've got cosplay, we've got special guests. So get ready, because your presentation of Game On starts now.
Game on! Game on! Game on!
I'm joined right now by WWE superstar Edge, also known as Adam Copeland. Edge, you've had so many fantastic and high-risk matches in the ring. When you see someone jumping off the top rope or off of a ladder, what goes through your mind?
I actually haven't watched in a while, so I don't have to cringe anymore. I think back to the stuff I did and, realize why I'm retired.
Right, but when you are in that moment, are you really like, oh crap, this could be it, or do you just brace?
No, I don't even think about it. You just did it.
Okay.
You just did it.
Finishing moves are always an item of interest among wrestling fans, and in my mind, the spear would be one of the most satisfying to pull off. And I was wondering, do you ever have to hold back when you do that move, or do you just go rip right into them full speed?
Pretty much rip right into them, which is probably another reason why I'm retired with 2 neck surgeries, because it took a toll.
Right.
Every time you hit that, it takes a toll on your spine,
And actually, I wanted to come to that. You had your last match a couple of years ago at WrestleMania versus Alberto Del Rio, and you had to retire shortly afterwards due to the damage that you were talking about. I was wondering, is that injury that actually occurred at WrestleMania, or was it when you gave the spear to Brodus Clay on that SmackDown afterwards?
No, it was just over time.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't like a one-time, it wasn't just one spear, it wasn't just one, it was 21 ladder matches, and it was getting hit probably 400 times by a chair over the years, landing on my back probably 40,000 times over 20 years. I mean,
It'll add up.
Yeah, when you start running down the list of all that stuff, it's like, oh, well, yeah, of course you're retired. How did you make it that long?
Exactly.
When you actually think about what we put our bodies through, it's amazing that guys and girls even make it past 2 years.
I remember watching wrestling, and particularly Lita, when I was becoming a teenager and being like, whoa, she's got it going on. So how did your relationship with Lita come about, and then how much of it is scripted for TV, and then how much of that is real?
Pretty much scripted. I mean, we had a relationship, and we were always good friends. And that was just, it worked on TV, so I was like, cool, we can take this and run. And that's what we did. Okay,
and did you ever consummate your marriage with Vickie Guerrero?
Once again, very character-driven. And Vickie, I had so much fun working with Vickie.
I've heard she's really nice. Like, other than the excuse me on TV, she's actually a really nice person. Is that right?
What was very cool about it is when we first started our story together, she was the timid kind of general manager that barely said boo. And then we kind of took it in this direction that everybody's like, what? And then to see her blossom from not saying a word to getting the most heat in the company. And I was there watching all of it step by step, and I'd say, hey, try this. And she'd try it, and bam. So I felt like an evil Dr. Frankenstein, like kind of helping build this Frankenstein's monster, and then she just took it and ran, and that was a lot of fun for me to watch that whole thing, to become the cougar, and
the necklace on.
Yeah, I was very proud of her.
When you had your Money in the Bank briefcase, did you know when you would be able to cash it in, or did Vince McMahon tell you the day of that you were going to become the new champion?
There was no set plan. There's not really ever a set plan, or if there is one, it just changes 58 times before it happens. So it's one thing you quickly learn. It's like, there's no sense in getting your hopes up on this happening or that happening, because it's just going to change. Right. And I've learned that going into TV shows now, too. It's changing in a meeting right before the show.
A lot of flying by the seat of your pants then.
Yeah.
I was at the Elimination Chamber match that you had in Seattle.
Okay.
And that was, I think, one of that was the only pay-per-view I've ever been able to go to, and that was where you went in. You lost your World Heavyweight Championship right away to Jeff Hardy, but then you stole Kofi Kingston's spot. Something like that, do you have input into something like that, or is they like, did they sit down again before and they're like, "Hey, Edge, this is what's going on," or do you even know when you lose the World Heavyweight Championship that you're getting the WWE Championship?
I mean, I had input on everything that I did, but I also understood that it could all change. So I'd throw my 2 cents in. You know, what I knew I could control was my match. You know, because once I'm in there, the bell rings. Okay, now it's my canvas, and I'm going to paint it. Now you can, you know, however you want to, you know, kind of write it and paint it leading up to that. Cool. I'll throw in my 2 cents. If I really don't like something, then I'm going to say so. But I'd usually just try and make, you know, lemonade out of lemons. If I thought it was a lemon, it's like, we'll figure it out. We'll make it work. Just commit to it. But once the bell rang, it was mine. That was my baby. My opponent knew it was my baby. They usually just listened and trusted me, and it worked out.
You had a lot of great rivalries and nemesis in the ring, like, I mean, with Undertaker and WrestleMania. Who would you say is your favorite opponent to wrestle?
I can't narrow it down to just one. I really can't, you know, because so many guys brought so many different things to the table. You know, whether it is Undertaker, which, you know, when he you know, the first time we worked, he was like, "Wow, you, Brett, and Sean are my favorite opponents." I was like, "Cool, all right." He trusts me, awesome. You know,
that's
and
a great category to be lumped into.
Yeah, I was like, that's the best category.
Yeah. So
I was like, awesome. You know, and then once he trusts you, everybody else realized, okay, if he does, then there's a reason. And you start going out and dipping into guys' tool chests. Like if I work Cena, and I'd say, "Hey, we got to get past just the you can't see me fist drop thing. We got to start showing what you can do. So just trust me." And then we'd start doing it, and he'd start having half-an-hour matches, and you know, people were getting invested. You know, so once you get a track record behind you, then it's like, okay, well, he has a good match with people. There must be a reason. You know, and then little by little, because you can do it in tag team, but then when you segue out of that, you got to reprove it, you know, because it's not a team now. Now you're doing it on your own. So then it's wrestling Kurt Angles and Chris Benoit's and Eddie Guerrero's and, you know, Rey Mysterio's, and then from there going to the Batistas and the John Cena's and the Undertakers, which is a different beast altogether too. So, you know, that's usually the mark of somebody. They can get in with all of those guys and do something with it. Hey, this is WWE Hall of Famer Edge. When I'm not sparing opponents in the ring, which I can't because I'm retired, I'm kicking back with Kyle Born.
It's all about the game, and how you play it. All about control, if you can take it. Do you think that we could play another game? Maybe I could win this time.
You're listening to Game On with Jeff Johnson on GameNTrain.com.